haven't done in a really long time is clean the patio. We had like wind threats and hurricane threats and tornado threats, all this kind of stuff. So we had like flipped all the furniture over. And then in the midst of that, we had the big pollening. So it's all yellow and disgusting out there. So I do want to go give it a quick little, and I figured I'd take you guys along with me. So let's go clean the patio. Hi. All right, you can see this like level, maybe you can or cannot, but there's like a level of yellow just everywhere. So, thought we had a room in here, but I guess I'll just have to use the one from inside unless. Jesus. Oh. What are you doing? Couldn't care less, huh? This is our gnome, keeper of the patio. Now it's time to head to the movies with our cinematic crusader. Here with another titanium take, here's our movie maven Kai.
Oh, hey there everybody, it is I, your movie maven Kai, and we in the nerd, geek, dweeb community suffered a pretty big loss last week. We lost Val Kilmer at the very young age of 65. And, you know, a lot of people would say, you know, well, how is he part of the nerd, geek, you know, dweeb community? The man was Batman, first of all. Like, let's just get that out of the way. But when you have movies like Top Secret and Willow and Real Genius, and, you know, under your belt, you really realize, you know, this is a guy who took on comic books, Batman, the Saint, took on, you know, the smart kid, took on, you know, all of these in such a way that made it okay to like that stuff. He was so cool and so likable and lovable that, and talented, that doing roles like that, you know, there was representation for us. There was, you know, that piece of, it's okay for, you know, me to be this person because Val Kilmer was that person, you know? And I really appreciate him for that, because he was such an incredible actor. And so many people will, you know, I'm seeing, oh, but he was a jerk. He was kind of a jerk. I know people personally who worked directly with him. who've not said word one. I mean, not just now, people say, well, he just passed, but ever, like I've not heard, word too large against the man. And I feel like he's one of those guys that kind of gets a pass. He kind of gets a pass. Like we go, yeah, but it's Val Kilmer. He's so cool. And, we love him so much. And he's so talented that we go, that's okay. You can be a jerk. You've earned your ego. Like you can sit there and talk about how great you are all the time. You're right. We agree with you. For those of you who don't know, he had throat cancer. And he, got treatment and, it didn't go, the way that he wanted it to. And it stopped him in his tracks, and this is a guy who loved acting. He loved performing. He loved all of those, all the work that would go into it, whether it was, getting crazy in shape or studying, accents or, learning new things. He was an actor's actor, and we love that of Val. And, I could sit here and go down the list of all of his, his filmography, his amazing, contributions and all of this. But, really what it comes down to is that he was someone who used, his influence well. He chose really interesting roles. It's funny, the first one that, of course, came to mind for me was Tombstone, Doc Holliday. I even said, on Facebook, I said, okay, so we're all watching Tombstone tonight, and I believe that, what was that, 93? So many of my, little quotes and stuff, you don't even realize that you're taking it from that movie because it became part of your lexicon for the last, 30 plus years. He gave us so much, so many great deliveries and attitudes and all of that. And, Tombstone, I think, was the first one that everybody thought of just because his role, his performance as Doc Holliday was just iconic. Like there's no other person that, could even come close. You could have people that could do it, but it's not going to be Val, and I think that in our heads, that is Doc Holliday. That's exactly what he was like. And that's exactly, how we picture him. If you ever read a book about Doc Holliday or he was brought up, that is the picture that's going to pop up in your mind. Same with pretty much everybody in that movie, whether it's, Kurt Russell or Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, that was just such a great movie, but really the standout performance was Val. It's funny, Real Genius is my favorite of his movies. And it made me feel, good about being the smart kid, and I saw it from such a young age. It's another one that, a lot of quotes kind of, sit and come out from time to time. But and this is such a meet cute, kind of thing. One of my friends who I met at work, actually, he was a patron and, came in and sat down at the bar when I worked at Hard Rock and wearing my Hard Rock shirt. David, I threw out a quote from Real Genius and he caught it and he sat at my bar for like 4 hours after that. And we went off on our nerd rants about Tron and Twilight Zone and all of that stuff. But we kept coming back to Real Genius, and every time, and he Facebook friended me right then. And, this was, 12 years ago, something like that. Anyway, a long time ago. And it's one of those things that every time, the friendiversary comes up, I'll send him a message that just says, this is ice. This is what happens when water gets too cold. This is Kent. This is what happens when someone gets too sexually frustrated. It's just one of those, I can rattle off, I think, that entire movie. But yeah, he left his mark. He left a legacy that we're very thankful for. And, I said, we're all watching Tombstone, and I think that was the one that I saw mentioned the most. That and like Top Gun, I think, were the number 1 and 2 part, or number 1 and 2 place movies. But I think that we should do this instead, to honor Val. we should find a movie of his that we've never seen and watch it. It's great, you know, revisiting the stuff that, you know, we fell in love with them because of, but it would be so great if everyone just, you know, discovered something new that he had done, since, you know, we're not going to get anything new. And that's a really good way of, you know, keeping that feeling alive. So thank you, Val. You're amazing. All of you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. You know, Rusty and I, we had to take some time because it's been real, guys. You know, we're both trying to, you know, do stuff to, you know, get to the next level in our lives and, you know, continue on and live and grow and, you know, have that mental capacity, you know, to even function. It's getting rough out there, guys, but we're here and you guys are here and we appreciate that and we appreciate you and we love you so much. And thank you for, you know, spending this time with us and, you know, dealing with my rants and my tributes and, you know, all of that. I love it, guys. Rusty loves it. Thank you for taking this ride with us. We love you. Drink your water. Take your meds. We'll see you next time.
So much for swinging by. I know I haven't been posting as much and maybe you miss us, maybe you don't, but we miss you. And I'm really working on revitalizing my creative spirit so I could be present for y'all, but work has definitely been in the driver's seat lately and we are working on fixing that. So hope to see y'all soon and thanks again. We love you.
Either way on this trial, if you don't know the way, we can stop and make a change. I know we walk for days, losing hope, fading love. This night will be okay, waking up to another day. Myself aside, lead the way on this trial. If you don't know the way, we can stop and make a change. I know we walk for days, losing hope.